Hi, my name is Terry, and I want to talk about things that nobody wants to talk about. September 3rd, 2013, I lost my father to suicide. My world came crashing down. I was a police wife. I had a son that was 18 months old, and I had lost my dad. It was 2 days after my birthday. I was celebrating with a friend when I got the call that my father had shot my mom's friend and killed himself. It was horrible. It was a mess. I remember being in pure shock, not knowing what to do, who to call, where to go. I obviously reached out right away to my first responder husband, who was working at the time, and he had then went to pick up my sister. I went through all the shock a daughter would do of losing her father at an older age. I was 30, and I had a kid and a husband. So after my family would go to bed, I would creep through the hallway, go out to my front porch, and cry on my porch, looking at the sky, asking why couldn't I help? Why couldn't I save him? I watched my family get torn into a million pieces because of this. Not my personal family, but my mom and my siblings and my dad's side of the family all ripped apart within months. My siblings and I, we had to plan a funeral on our own. It was the worst, and we didn't really get to grieve properly. We were thrown into planning a funeral. It was really hard, but I had my number one supportive person, and that was my husband. My husband said things to me like, "Hey, sweetie, you know why they don't leave the dead lying around? Because they stink up the place." My husband was a police officer. My husband saw this type of trauma all the time on a daily. Tough, badass, he could get through anything, superhero type man. Fast forward to May 5th, 2019. I am still a mother. I have 2 kids at this point. We had a 5-year-old daughter and an 8-year-old son, and my husband was a lieutenant on a local police department. He'd been there for 13 years. Work was getting very stressful on him. I could see a difference in him. He was drinking at night to go to sleep. I asked him if these things were normal, putting yourself to sleep with whiskey. He said, yes, it helps with nightmares. It helps to keep those thoughts from racing at night. All officers do it. My husband thought suicide was for cowards. Suicide was the easy way out. Suicide was selfish. How dare people leave people to find them? Hated it. My husband, on May 5th, 2019, we had an average day. The day before, he was dancing in the kitchen with me to Beautiful Crazy, telling me how much he loved me, making plans. He had had Monday off, and it was a Saturday then. Come along Sunday, I went to church. My husband stayed home, promised to be there with us. The next Mother's Day was coming up, he'd go to church. We went to a birthday party, came home. I had jumped in the tub. My kids had gotten their baths. My husband was playing Barbies with my daughter while she was in the tub. He got all our kids dressed and he went outside to let our chickens out. I heard a gunshot and my husband never came back in the house that day. I had no idea that he had killed himself. We live in a country area where people shoot bows, guns all the time. The gunshot did not faze me. When I went outside to tell my husband we were going to read the kids' stories, I found him shot in the head. And the only way I can describe it, it's like walking down the street on a beautiful day and someone jumps out and beats the shit out of you. The shock, not understanding, everything is horrible. At that point, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I had no major signs to me. I want people to know that suicide does not discriminate. You can be anyone and have that thought. And all it takes is the ability to act on that thought and the courage at that time to do what you feel you need to do to take away this pain and these demons that are haunting you. What people do not realize is you're not taking away the pain and the demons. All you're doing is spreading those across to everyone you love, care about, and who has ever known you. After my husband passed away, my kids were hurt, I was hurt, our entire family was hurt. We never saw it coming. And the way a person gets treated when someone commits suicide is horrible. Horrible. They get blamed, they get shunned, they get talked about, they do not get the help, especially police officers, that a line of duty death would get. And people hurt you continuously until the end. And the reason I'm telling you this is because if you are a person who is thinking about suicide, it does not end the pain. It spreads it like wildfire upon every person you know and sucks them dry. And there is real help out there that can stop the pain, that can help. I have had nothing but a walk through hell since my husband passed away. And I have had so many people who I thought were close and wonderful and amazing people judge us, completely stop talking to us, completely stop inviting us to things that we would normally be invited to if we were a complete family. No one checks on you after 3 months out. You want to be checked on, you got to call, and then they'll ask, how are you? They do not call you and check on you. So if you need to talk, reach out, because they're not going to reach out. And it's sad. And I hate to say this, but this is the 100% truth of what suicide does to families. One of my husband's best friends blocked me on social media, completely stopped talking to us, never invited us to anything else again. It's horrible. Horrible. People that you think would be there are not. Now, do we blame them? Maybe they just don't know how to deal with it, but either do we. I want suicide awareness to be talked about. I want suicide to be heard. I want an end to it. I am putting my life story out there to try and save someone. If you are relatives to somebody who committed suicide, you know the hell that you are going to go through and you're going through, and it is horrific. I know with all my heart that if my husband could have saved himself, he would have. If he was not afraid to ask for help, he would be here. But his pride was huge, and his job was so very important to him that I think first responders, military, all of them are afraid to talk about the horrific things that they see on a daily that make their heads snap. I want to be the first person here to stand up and say, talk about it. Get help. If we can save one person, it is worth telling my story, telling your story. I try to be strong, but there are days as a single widowed mom that I just lay on my couch and cry. There are days that I have all the energy in the world and I am living the best life for my kids. It is not easy. If you know somebody who has a family member that committed suicide, be there for them. Be there for them as much as you can. If you're in a group of friends, even if it's once a month, that someone in that friend list checks on them, that makes a huge difference. You're showing people you care. It's just the same as if you lost somebody to a horrible disease, because the suicidal person has no control over their mind at the point of suicide. They have lost it. My husband had talked to a lot of people and talked them out of suicide as a first responder. My husband had seen a lot of horrific, tragic events. We need to be there for our first responders. We need to be there for our military. We need to be there for police, fire, everyone. And I know those are all under the first responder umbrella. I'm just trying to, put things out there. I really, really want to make a difference. I don't know how. I talk about it as much as I can, and people get annoyed by it. I've been told, you are not invited places because you tell people you're a widow. Sorry, I want to bring awareness to a horrible, horrible, tragic situation. I have been told that I don't grieve right, that I'm not grieving enough, that I'm not doing the right things. I got news for everyone. There is no guide to grief. There is no guide to living after a suicide. So whatever you do is okay. My thing is, if I can help and reach one person and they don't commit suicide, I've made a difference. And I will put my story, my life, everything out there to try to help someone. So I am here if anybody ever needs to reach out. And there are people all around that are willing to listen to you rather than attend your funeral. So I just want to make suicide something that everyone is comfortable talking about by putting my uncomfortable ugly story out there. I am I have a Facebook page. It's called Live with Terry, LIVEWITHTERRI. There's a hashtag in front of it. And it's just me talking like I'm doing now, live, telling people what we're going through, how we're doing, and trying to help others. So please, guys, let go of that stigma. Let it go. And talk about the things nobody wants to hear so we can save at least one person. God bless. Have a wonderful day. And thank your first responders. Bye.